This video is best viewed in full screen mode, and on YouTube that's this icon right here. And if you have a high bandwidth connection, you also want to watch it in HD, which is this icon right here. This video goes over the scheduler program. One quick thing I want to show you here is under user preferences. These are where the user preferences are for the scheduler program. And this here you check off if you want to be shown all the appointments that you have for the day when you first open up the application in the morning. And this here is to set your default reminder time. Whenever you create a new appointment, there's a reminder time that is set, and this is the default for it. And these are all your options here. So now off to the program. For the most part, this program is pretty darn easy to use. If you could type into the grid, you can pretty much schedule an appointment. So let's say you want to schedule an appointment here to have lunch with Dad. You just type it in, and you notice it's Thursday at 11:30. Shows you your date and time up here, the description, and any notes that you want to put in, you put up it here. And we're going to meet at the Red Lobster. We could type right, Lobster. Okay. And then if you notice, as soon as we started typing stuff in, this background here went to yellow. And that's to remind you that you have unsaved data. So you click that and it saves it. And the main reason that you want to make sure that you save your information, because if you enter in all your appointments, you enter in all your times, the system is not going to remind you until you commit to that by hitting the save button. So if you type in an appointment and set it all up and you don't ever hit save, you're not going to be reminded. And so that's why it shows up as yellow. It's just a visual cue to save what you did. Now let's say that you get a call and Dad says, hey, we need to move this appointment up an hour. Well, you hold down your control key and just drag it down. The trick is try not to time it perfectly. Just hold your control key down way before you click on it, and then you can move that anywhere that you want. A couple things about the color coding here. Anything that is pink is in the past, yellow is in the future, and green is today. And over here is your calendar, and it's got the same color coding. Green is today, future yellow, past is pink. And that's basically the pink is there to say, hey, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to make an appointment in the past because it's in the past. However, you still want to be able to see that information. For example, if you missed an appointment and you want to reschedule it in the future, you want to be able to get to it to move it to the forward, forward in time, or perhaps you just want to go in and see what you did last week. So that information is still available to you. Okay, now another thing you can do if you want to move an appointment is you can just click on it and say move appointment to, and then click there, and that moves it. Move appointment to, and just click that button, and wherever you click next is where it shows up. Now let's say that you got an appointment here to go to the court and you decide I just don't have time to get records, I got to move that to next week. Well, this grid is set up to show 1 week at a time. So for example, we're showing this week right here in this grid. And oh, by the way, you won't be able to see this all, but you can maximize it. If you double click on, if you use this here, you can maximize it and use up all the space on your screen. You're not going to be able to see all that because I'm not recording all of the screen right now, but I just want to make you aware of that functionality. Okay, so I can say, I want to click on that, and I'll say move appointment to, and I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to click the next week of the calendar, and I want to go over here to the 21st at noon. So now what I did is I moved that appointment a week in advance, basically. So the move appointment to button is real handy if you want to move to a different week, because anytime you click here in the grid, it's going to take you to a different week. And again, whatever row you're in here week-wise is what loads up into this grid. So I'm going to go back to today. And you have options here to show Sunday and show Saturday. If you click on them, those days pop up. We now have Sunday showing. Now we don't. Go over here, we got Saturday showing. Now we don't. I figure a lot of you won't have appointments on the weekend, so you can just leave that off, and that way you can see your full week in the grid without being completely maximized. And then over here is where you have your reminder time that we talked about. It always defaults to whatever you set under user preferences, but you can set that reminder time to whatever you like. Of course, here, if I create an appointment, if I want to, I can just click on that and that'll delete the appointment. Again, this is pretty easy to use. There is this column right here which is reminder on, and what that means is that what this is basically a way of turning off all the reminders for the appointments for that day. So let's say it's the day and you say, okay, I got my appointments down, I don't want to be reminded. And you could go through each one of these and you could say no reminder, no reminder, and you could turn each one of those off. But if you just didn't want to do all that, you could just say turn your reminders off, save it, and then you're not going to get reminded for any of these appointments on that day. And you can even set that in the future or whatever you want. This may be a feature you decide never to use, or maybe something you just love and use all the time. Again, trying to give you the max amount of flexibility to use this program, however it works best for you. So I'm going to turn that back on. And just to give you an idea what happens when an appointment comes up, this form will show. You don't have to have this scheduling program running as long as you have the judgment management system running. When the appointment comes due, this form will pop up, a message box will pop up and says telling you what appointments that you have, and it'll show you today's date, and then it'll also play a little alarm sound. So in case you're out of the room, if you're listening for it, you can also hear that you had an appointment come due. And that is pretty much everything in the world you need to know about the scheduling program.